He can wrestle. He's got very good jiu-jitsu. He hits hard, and he's a big, durable dude. But I don't know if he's going to be able to wrestle with that guy. Like, I don't know, man. The Khamzat skill is so high level, it makes me wonder. It's like there's some guys, like you see it in jiu-jitsu. There's some guys that look really good until they fight somebody who's really, really good. And then they get manhandled. You know, it's like everybody looks good until they face Gordon Ryan. Like, Gordon Ryan can do that to anybody. Like, is Khamzat at that level? Well, it kind of appears that he is.
Renowned podcaster Joe Rogan has recently offered high praise for Khamzat Chimaev's wrestling abilities. Looking ahead, Chimaev is slated for a middleweight title fight against Dricus Du Plessis. Rogan has expressed interest in this matchup, questioning whether Du Plessis can effectively counter Chimaev's dominant ground game. Rogan praised Chimaev as being on an elite level, possibly even in a league of his own when it comes to grappling in the middleweight division. While Du Plessis is tough, strong, and has decent wrestling and jiu-jitsu, it's unclear if he can compete with someone as technically advanced and physically dominant as Chimaev. Rogan praised Chimaev's dominant performance against Robert Whittaker at UFC 308. In that bout, Chimaev secured a first-round submission victory, impressively overcoming Whittaker's renowned takedown defense.
Chimaev, even when he got dropped, he dove in and took him down. Like, he's good, man. He's good. What he did to Whittaker was just, nobody thought that was going to happen. That was crazy.
That was scary.
It appears that he's, in terms of like the grappling that he possesses, seems magnitudes greater than anybody else in his division.
But it's that skill thing that we talk about. When you can have athleticism, you can have strength. But when you come up against someone whose skill is far superior to yours, eventually you're going to burn out because there's only a finite amount of strength and power that you have got. And eventually, if you're fighting somebody who can match you physically, but also has the skill on top of it, I mean, you're kind of done, really, unless you get lucky with a punch.
Joe Rogan further analyzes Khamzat Chimaev's fighting style, his ferocity and dominance inside the octagon. At the same time, he specifically stated that Chimaev brutally knocks out his opponents. Rogan has emphasized Chimaev's aggressive fighting style and his ability to overwhelm adversaries. If the fight probably happens with DDP, Khamzat will surely have dominant rounds.
Styles make fights, and you've never seen Dricus fight of a good wrestler, and Khamzat's one of the best. So
and you got to think his endurance is probably going to be better at 85 than it was at 70 because of the cut. For Khamzat, it's like 85 is really where he should have been all along.
But again, he gassed out against Usman. That was at 85. Usman went up to 85.
Usman's a world champion, you know. And the third round, Usman did what a world champion does. He puzzle MVP is. What a puzzle.
Yeah.
I mean, Sharon Bullock just couldn't do nothing to him. But even on the feet, Ian Gary was getting lit up too.
Yeah, Ian Gary had to wrestle.
He just had to wrestle.
Ian Gary impressed me even with his loss with
Shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
He was the closest to ending it.
Great,
And he's well-rounded.
Great fight.
Oh, Ian Gary would be a champion. Yeah. Yeah, he is champion.
And you need a fight like that. Super close fight.
UFC fans are desperately waiting to see Dricus Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev, but things seem to be going in a very different direction right now. What was once considered a clear path to an explosive middleweight showdown has now turned into a mix of uncertainty, delays, and rumors with names like Caio Barajo and Imavov. Moreover, UFC CEO Dana White recently addressed the ongoing uncertainty surrounding the Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus Du Plessis fight. He stated that he would not blame anyone for not fighting Khamzat. White emphasized that the situation is complicated, with various factors at play, including the potential for injury or scheduling conflicts, but made it clear that fighters should not be criticized for delays or changes in plans.
Listen, man, Khamzat is a straight murderer. He's a killer. He's an absolute savage, and I don't blame anybody for not wanting to.
How close was Khamzat to getting the title shot against DDP in Australia?
How close was it?
Yeah.
I mean, guys, what are you, is this tonight's stupid question night? How close was he to getting?
I'm asking you because after his win against Robert Whittaker, you said he might be next, right? So
Right.
That would just be...
He's not next.
Gotcha.
How close was he? I don't know. I mean, we sit in a room every Tuesday and we pick fights.
Was he in the conversation?
He's always in the conversation. Yes.
Former fighter and MMA analyst Chael Sonnen is frustrated that the UFC never officially announced the Dricus versus Khamzat fight before it suddenly fell apart. He has expressed significant disappointment with the UFC's handling of the delayed middleweight title fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis. While the exact nature of the injury hasn't been officially disclosed, veteran MMA journalist Kevin Ule reported that Du Plessis is sidelined. It's still uncertain whether the fight will happen again or not.
Dricus Du Plessis, Khamzat Chimaev, lined up, kept from us, the audience, gonna get announced for International Fight Weekend. This is the story that we are being asked to accept. Now, my only problem with accepting the story is that International Fight Weekend is 9 weeks away. But there are times in history when a main event of International Fight Weekend, but we got news 2 days ago that Dricus Chimaev were reserved. We're going to fight on that date, which says so many things. I mean, so many things have told us that Chimaev can't get to the country. Apparently, we are to believe that none of those things are so anymore. And that fight was going to go down in the main event of International Fight Weekend, as previously mentioned, which is 9 weeks.
Chael Sonnen has been openly critical of Dricus Du Plessis, particularly regarding Du Plessis' withdrawal from a scheduled title fight due to injury. He also questioned why he is keeping it secret. Sonnen wasn't just disappointed with the fight being delayed, he was more upset about how it happened. He claimed that Du Plessis pulled out without an official announcement, creating confusion for fans and the UFC alike.
Dricus Du Plessis, who, by the way, I really hope never tells us what's wrong with him. Like, I am so sick of fighters using the internet as an excuse for getting out of something. Here I am, look at me, I'm in a hospital bed, and therefore every claim that you've ever heard must be true. Hey, look, here's an x-ray. It must be mine since I'm the one putting it on social media, and therefore I'm completely justified in pulling out of the one job that I get asked to do 3 times a year. Like, it's none of our business. And so far, Dricus hasn't told us what it is.
Chael Sonnen recently criticized the UFC for failing to properly update its audience. He pointed out that fans are being led to believe that a fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Caio Borralho for the interim middleweight title is set for International Fight Week. But in reality, no fight has been officially signed.
Now, as much as I hope that Dricus continues to not tell us what it is, finding out what it is has a relevancy, because do we do an interim championship? Do we not do an interim championship? Because Caio Borralho has accepted a fight against Khamzat Chimaev International Fight Weekend for an interim championship. The fight that Caio Borralho has accepted against Chimaev has not been offered to him, and the interim championship does not currently exist. But guys in the division have a way of finding information out.